For centuries, Rome's heart beat with silver. The denarius, pure and bright, the pulse of an empire, unwavering. From distant Britannia to the sun-baked sands of Egypt, its glint was law, a promise of stability, a testament to power. Each coin a tiny metallic shield, guarding the wealth of citizens. It built roads, paid legions, fed the hungry masses. But beneath the shining surface, a shadow began to stir. A creeping sickness, born not of plague, but of desperate ambition. A silent rot, invisible at first, in the very essence of their prosperity. The empire's greatest strength, paradoxically, contained its fatal flaw. A story of how the very fabric of trust, once torn, can never truly heal. The coffers, perpetually hungry, demanded more. Wars raged, borders stretched, demanding an endless stream of gold and silver. But the mines, finite and yielding less, could not keep pace. Then a whisper from the emperor's inner circle, a dangerous solution. Reduce the silver ever so slightly, they reasoned. No one will notice. A tiny betrayal, a fractions of a percent decrease in the denarius's purity. It felt like genius. More coins from less metal, a magic trick for the treasury. But this subtle dilution was a poison, seeping into the veins of their economy. The emperor, a desperate physician, unknowingly prescribed a fatal dose. Each new coin, a lie wrapped in a thin metallic sheen. The integrity of Rome, slowly, meticulously, began to erode. The stage was set, the precedent grimly established. Emperor Nero, a man of boundless appetite and artistic ego, accelerated the trend. His grand projects, his lavish indulgences, demanded more than Rome truly possessed. The denarius, once nearly pure, was now visibly less so, down to 80%. A tangible shift, yet the people caught in the spectacle barely stirred. They still spent, they still traded, accustomed to their emperor's whims. But the metal in their pockets held less actual value, day by day. The purchasing power, like a slow-bleeding wound, began to diminish. Rome was dancing on the edge of a precipice, distracted by the show. A silent economic erosion, masked by imperial grandeur and gluttony. The pure silver dream was fading, piece by precious piece. Then came the storm, the devastating crisis of the 3rd century, a maelstrom of civil war, barbarian incursions, and plague. Emperors rose and fell with terrifying speed, often by the sword. Each new leader, desperate to secure loyalty, raised soldiers' pay. But the treasury was barren, its true wealth long bled away. Their only answer, more, ever more, debasement of the coinage. The silver content of the Antoninianus plummeted, a dizzying freefall, from 50% to 10, then shockingly to mere fractions. A bronze coin, barely kissed with silver, passed for a fortune. The serpent of debasement, now fully grown, tightened its chokehold. The empire's very lifeblood was turning to dust. The marketplace, once vibrant, now simmered with distrust. A basket of bread, once a few silver denarii, now cost a handful of bronze discs. Farmers, their labor exploited, refused to sell their harvest for worthless metal. They saw through the emperor's facade, the lie in their hands. This is not money, their eyes declared. This is merely painted copper. Prices soared, doubling, tripling, then leaping tenfold in a single year. Panic set in, a desperate scramble to exchange fading coins for anything real. Silver jewelry, old statues, even household goods became more valuable. The wealthy hoarded their gold, melting coins down for their intrinsic worth. Faith, the unseen bedrock of all currency, vanished into thin air. Rome's citizens learned the bitter lesson. A coin is only as good as its promise. As money lost its meaning, society began to unravel. The intricate web of trade built on a common medium started to fray. Why sell grain for coins that would be worthless tomorrow? Bartering returned, a desperate step back into a simpler, harsher time. A farmer traded wheat directly for wool, a potter for olive oil. The convenience of currency, a hallmark of civilization, evaporated. Cities, reliant on complex supply chains, began to starve. Legions, once paid in silver, now demanded payment in provisions. The very institutions that underpinned Roman life buckled and groaned. The glittering promise of empire devolved into a struggle for daily survival. The price of debasement was far more than mere numbers. It was order itself. Amidst the chaos, Emperor Diocletian rose, a man of iron will. He sought to halt the inferno, not by restoring the money, but by shackling the market. His infamous Edict on Maximum Prices was a bold, terrifying gamble. It fixed the cost of thousands of goods and services down to a single egg. The penalty for disobedience, death, a chilling decree from a desperate ruler. You will sell at this price, the empire commanded, or face the ultimate consequence. But human nature and the relentless logic of economics proved defiant. No merchant would sell at a loss, even under threat of execution. The black market flourished, a shadowy economy thriving in fear.
The gods must have
Diocletian's
abandoned
noble intention only deepened the crisis, a tyrannical folly. He learned too late that laws cannot conquer the invisible hand of value. The edict, meant to bring order, instead plunged Rome into deeper shadows. Official markets emptied, fear drove trade underground. Farmers, wary of arbitrary prices and brutal penalties, hoarded their crops. Goods vanished from public view, only to resurface in illicit dealings. The desperate sought sustenance in hushed conversations in secret corners. A thriving black market, a testament to Rome's broken trust, now dominated. Prices, far from stabilizing, became even more volatile in this hidden economy. The emperor's iron fist had created an uncontrollable beast. Trust in the state, in its laws, evaporated under the weight of this new reality. Rome, a society once defined by order, now wrestled with defiant chaos. The true cost of a poisoned currency wasn't just poverty, but the erosion of civility. As always, some profited from the despair. Those with land, with tangible assets, or hoarded gold, weathered the storm. Their wealth, immune to the debased coinage, only grew in relative value. The gap between the patrician and the plebeian widened into a chasm. The poor, paid in worthless metal, found their meager wages buying less and less. Their life savings, once a small comfort, dissolved into nothingness. A stark, brutal lesson. In times of hyperinflation, the vulnerable suffer most. Justice, once a Roman ideal, became a cruel joke for the masses. The social fabric, already strained by war and disease, now tore completely. Rome, once a symbol of unity, became a stark landscape of inequality. The silver sickness didn't just break the economy, it broke the people. The currency crisis was more than an economic phenomenon. It was a crisis of trust, a betrayal from the highest authority. Citizens lost faith in their leaders, in the very idea of a stable future. Why plan, why build, when tomorrow's money might be worthless? The spirit of enterprise dwindled, replaced by cynicism and resignation. Talent and ambition fled, seeking stability in simpler, less corrupted lands. The once mighty Roman spirit, forged in conquest and innovation, faltered. Despair, like a slow-burning ember, consumed the collective hope. This wasn't just about coins. It was about the psychological collapse of an empire. The silver sickness had seeped into the soul of Rome itself. A civilization, slowly but surely, starved itself of its own future. The Western Roman Empire eventually fell, a complex web of causes, but the silver sickness, the debasement of its currency, was a fatal thread. It weakened the military, impoverished the people, and eroded central authority. A chilling echo down the centuries, a stark warning for all who govern. The temptation to print more money, to spend beyond true means, remains. History reminds us, a nation's wealth is not merely in its gold reserves. It rests fundamentally in the trust of its people, in the integrity of its currency. Break that trust, and the foundations of society begin to crumble. Rome's desperate acts offer a timeless lesson in financial sobriety. For the glint of a coin, however small, holds the weight of an entire civilization. A story whispered from the ruins of a promise broken and an empire lost. Today, the printing press has replaced the melting pot. Digital ledgers now manage the flow of trillions, not just silver. Yet the ancient lessons of Rome still resonate, a ghostly echo in our modern markets. The delicate balance between economic stimulus and monetary stability persists. Central bankers, economists, and governments all grapple with this eternal struggle. The consequences of mismanaging currency remain as dire as ever, for beneath the complex algorithms and global finance lies a simple truth. The value of money is a collective belief, a shared agreement. Break that belief, and even the mightiest economies can falter. Rome's tragic tale is not just history, it is a perpetual warning. The silver sickness, a dark parable for every age, every nation.